If you can just get a visual on that one.
Put the tripod down and then the other way.
Okay, we begin on Tzadik Zayin Amud Aleph by the 2 dots. So it's like a little bit of a way down on the 215 lines down. You have the board in the view of the camera?
I had it before, beginning.
No, I know, but if I show diagrams during the... Okay, it's fine, it's fine. It's really for the people that are here.
You should have somebody's mouth on.
Yeah, so for whoever's watching the video, I'm sorry that you can't see the board. Sorry to Gemara. The Mishnah ended, the previous Mishnah ended off by saying, we were discussing a katan, right? A katan of 9 years and 1 day old that does a bia to this almana, whether or not he passes her or not, what the effect of the bia is, etc. The Mishnah ended off by saying that a 20-year-old man that has no signs of puberty, doesn't grow 2 saris, 2 hairs, 2 pubic hairs, he has the same status as a katan, as a child, as the 9 years and 1 day. And what is that status? That is that if there's a guy dies childless, his wife is a Yevama, and if the only brother that he leaves over is this 9-year-old child, so then she has to wait till he grows up to get either Yibam or Chalitza. If this person is already 20 years old and still doesn't have any cyrus, any hairs, showing any signs of maturing, so she still has to wait. He has the same status of that kid. Okay, you look at it, this 20-year-old as if it's a 9-year-old. So the Gemara asks on that, V'raminu, a contradiction from a Brisa which says, Ben Esrim Shana Shaloi Hevi Shtei Cyrus, a 20-year-old that doesn't bring forward 2 hairs, he doesn't grow hairs. Yaviu Raya Shehu Ben Esrim, we have to bring a proof that he's 20 years old. V'hu Hasris, and then we establish that he's a Sris and he cannot produce children, and the reason why he doesn't have signs of puberty is because he's a Sris. He can't have children. And then the halacha would be there's no chalitza, there's no yibum, and she's off the hook. She can go get married to anybody who she wants. And we don't consider this 20-year-old as a kid. We consider him as a Sris, which is a different halacha. And she'd be patur from Yibum, because of course Yibum owns only where you could be Makayim the name of the brother. The whole idea of Yibum is to have a child from the... Yeah.
20 years old specifically?
The Gemara is going to discuss what age it goes to. The Gemara is going to ask that question in a minute. But the first part of the Gemara, we're asking a stira, because in our Mishnah we said that the 20-year-old man has the same status without any signs of puberty. He has the same status as the 9-year-old. This Brisa seems to say when he's 20 years old, you bring a proof that he's 20 years old, and there's no Shnei Cyrus, so you consider him to be a Sris. And this Brisa continues actually and says, Ben Bas Esrim Shana Shaloi Hevi Shtei Cyrus, also a woman who's 20 years old and doesn't show 2 pubic hairs, doesn't have any signs of maturing. Yaviu Raya Shehi Bas Esrim Vihi Ha'islandess. You bring a proof that she's 20 and she's an islandess and she can't bear children either. So and then there would not be any chalitza or yibam, and she'd be free to go, mutter to marry whoever she wants, or whatever, if you can marry an islandess. But so that's the Gemara's question. You see over here, the Mishnah said that a 20-year-old is like a 9-year-old, and this Brisa seems to say no. We established that the 20-year-old is a Sris and can't have children. So the Gemara answers, Ha'itmar Allah, we were taught on this, Amar Rav Shmuel Bar Yitzchak, Amar Rav, or Shmuel Bar Yitzchak said in the name of Rav, Hu Shanol Doloi Simonei Sris. This is talking about a guy who is already showing signs of a Sris, signs of someone who can't have children. So therefore, we just establish it by proving that he's already 20, and the fact that we thought he was a Sris is just confirmed by the fact that he doesn't have Shtei Cyrus, and therefore she's patur because she's not Zakok Liyibum anymore. Amar Rava Dekanavi Dekatani, and it even seems that way in the wording of the Brisa, because it says V'hu Hasris. You bring proof that he's 20, and V'hu Hasris, he is the Sris that we thought he was. Okay, Ad Kama. So this is your question, Ad Kama. So let's say you don't have proof that he's a Sris, and we're considering him to be. He doesn't show signs of being a Sris. He just doesn't have any hairs. He doesn't show any signs of maturing. So we consider him to be like a late, like a late bloomer, whatever you call it, right? So the question is, he's 20 years old. So you're waiting for him to show signs of maturity. Till when do you wait? Until what age? So the Gemara says, Ad Kama Shani, Ad Kama, till where? Tani Devei Rabbi Chia. He was taught by the school of Rabbi Chia. Ad Roiv Shnaisav, until most of his years. And a man's years is considered to be 70 years. So once it's more than 35, in the time of the Gemara at least, right? Once it's more than 35, so he's considered to be Roif Shnaisav, and then she can go free. You no longer keep her waiting.
Till then?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait till he's 35.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully he's not that much younger than that when his brother dies.
Right.
Right.
He could be a kid.
He could be a kid, right?
Yeah. 30 years.
Yeah. True. Okay. Okay. Also, like I made the Rava. When it came before Rava, when these kind of situations came before Rava, he used to say, if it's a skinny guy, Amar lehu zilu abriu, go get fat. V'i bari, Amar lehu zilu achashuhu, go get skinnier. Dehani simanin zimnin, these simanim, the signs of puberty. The hani simanin zimnin de natri machmas chishusa, the zimnin de natri machmas priusa. Sometimes, if the guy's too skinny, he doesn't produce the signs that he's supposed to, the hairs, and if he's too fat, he also has that issue. So he used to say, change your body mass a little bit, and it might determine whether or not this guy's a Swiss. Hadron alach ha'isha rabba b'lineder.
So what would be wrong with him her chalitza? And we say with Freya, if it turns out that he turns out to get the signs,
yeah.
So that the chalitza is chal.
Who said a kid can give chalitza? A kid can't give chalitza.
No, I'm talking about the guy's 18
Oh,
years
he's 20,
old.
yeah, okay.
16 years old. 16 years old. Give her chalitza.
Yeah,
if it turns out that he was, that he got the signs properly, so it turns out the chalitza was chal.
Fine, so what should she do in the interim?
Huh?
What should she do in the meantime?
Now she get married.
Really? And let's say it turns out that he wasn't.
So
then she married.
He's the only brother.
Yeah.
He's the only brother.
Right.
So then he didn't have to give a chalitza b'chal. So the only nafkamina is with her with a Tony. Right?
No, the nafkamina is right now. Let's say he gives a chalitza.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying if he required a chalitza, so then it would have been good. If not, then he didn't need it. So the difference is.
It's work. It's going to release her.
Yeah. Seems like the right thing to do.
Here, maybe. Okay, Dr. Mishnah. Naisin ala anusav ala mafuta. If somebody was ma'anis or mafata, that means he either raped someone or had a relationship with her without a marriage. He wasn't married to her, but he slept with her. So the halacha is, says the Mishnah, naisin ala anusav ala mafuta. He's allowed to marry her relatives. He's allowed to marry her sister, daughter, mother. Because he was never in a marriage with the woman who would make those other relatives usher, right? He only had a marital relation with her, but it was no marriage. So he's mutter to go ahead after that act and marry one of her relatives.
They want to.
It's not advisable. It's not advisable. He's not gonna really, every time they meet each other, it's not gonna be very comfortable. But okay, nice and al nusav al mafuta. Ha'aynis v'amafat. But the next thing the Mishnah says is ha'aynis v'amafat al nasua. If he's married to a woman and he goes and he's ma'anis, he either forces a forbidden relationship or not forced forbidden relationship with one of her relatives, then chayiv. Then of course chayiv, right? Then he'd be also. So and the next thing the Mishnah says is nice adam ala nice adam anusas aviv umafutas aviv. A person is permitted to marry the woman who his father had a forbidden relationship with, out of a marriage, no marriage, but just his father was with a certain woman, either he forced, either was rape or consensual, but doesn't matter. That woman was never married to his father. He's permitted to go ahead and marry her. The son is permitted to go ahead and marry her. It's not on here. Okay. Adam anusas aviv umafutas aviv, and the same way the father to the son. Anusas b'nai u'mufutas b'nai is mutter. Rabbi Yehuda aiser b'anusas aviv u'mufutas aviv. Rabbi Yehuda says a person is not allowed to be with the woman who his father was with, whether it was with marriage or not. And we'll see in the Gemara the source for that, according to Rabbi Yehuda. Zakti Gemara. Tanina lahad Tana Rabbana. We have a brisa which discusses what we said here in the Mishnah. Anas isha mutter lisa bita. If a person forces a woman, if he rapes a woman, mutter lisa bita. He's permitted to marry her daughter. Nasa isha, if he marries the woman, asr lisa bita. He's asr to marry her daughter. Right? Viraminu. The Gemara asks on that. So that's what it seems like our Mishnah said, right? Viraminu. The Gemara asks a steer from a brisa. It says, Hanitan min isha. If there was a rumor about a certain woman, about a certain a man, nitin min isha, there was a rumor that this man had an affair, a relationship with a certain woman. Asr be'ima ubabita uba'chaisa. He's now asr to marry her mother, her daughter, or her sister. So it seems like a stirah with our Mishnah, right? Our Mishnah and this brayso, which is saying that if there was a relationship out of a marriage, no marriage, just a relationship with a woman, you're mutter to marry her relatives, her immediate relatives. Here we're saying that if there was a rumor that there was such a relationship, then it's also to marry her relatives. So Gemara answers midrabanan. That isser is put in place midrabanan because it's a gzeira. Because why? If a person ever has a relationship with a certain woman, chances are he may sin with her again. Right? And now, if you marry one of her relatives, she becomes an erva. So it's not advisable. Not advisable. Chachamim said it's usher to marry one of her relatives because now you created this erva, which you may end up going back to. And also, you'll also have a lot of interaction with her. You'll see her at the Shabbos table or at a simcha.
Unless she's your mother-in-law.
Then you won't see her. You have to invite her. Okay. The Gemara answers midrabanan. It's only exer midrabanan, but otherwise it's not a stira. So the Gemara says, it's an isser midrabanan, but the Mishnah wasn't talking about the isser midrabanan. So v'chol heicha the ika isur midrabanan tani noisin. The word noisin in our Mishnah, which says you're allowed to marry, sounds like lechatchila. Tani noisin lechatchila. If there's a rabbinical decree in place, does it make sense for the Mishnah to say noisin lechatchila, that he's allowed to go get married to one of her relatives lechatchila? The Gemara answers ki tanan masnisin. The Mishnah was said la'achar misin. Our Mishnah is talking about a scenario where is it mutar lechatchila to marry the relative of the one who you had a forbidden relationship with, a relationship out of marriage with. Who's that referring to? That's only if that woman that you had a relationship with died. Then mutar lechatchila to marry her relatives. That's right. There's no gzeira. But and it's mutar mid'oraisa and mid'rabanan, so that's why it's mutar lechatchila. Menachem, how do we know what we were taught in our Mishnah? The Tanra that it's mutar to marry the woman, the relatives of the woman that you had this relationship with. The Tanra Rabbana, we learned that in Brayso. B'kulan nemar shchiva. In all the isurim, like the isurim that you're not allowed to be with, lay with, in the Torah, it says the word shchiva, laying. You're not. So Rashi says we're talking about, let's say, for example, where's that Rashi? Right, like a daughter-in-law, an aunt, which is a father's brother's wife, or bezachar, a male, behema, an animal. All these, it says the isser is said in a way of shchiva, laying. The kan over here, with regard to marrying the relatives of the one you're married to, that isser, like your wife's sister, mother, daughter, those, the kan nemar kicha. It says when you acquire the woman through marriage. To teach us derech lekuchin asra Torah, that the Torah only answered her relatives when it was lekuchin, when there was she was acquired through marriage. Amalei Papa, if that's your source, Rabbi says to Abaya, by a sister. It says in the pasuk, Ish asher yikach es achaysai bas achiv. It says the word yikach, Ish asher yikach es achaysai bas achiv oy bas imai. If he takes his sister, which is the daughter of his father or his mother, in other words, they share, even if they share just one parent, that's one of the ervas. It's one of the Aryais. So Gemara answers. So the question is, Papa asks Tabai Hachanami derech kicha hu aser derech shchiva shari. You're telling me that it's only aser to be with a sister if it was with a marriage, but not with just shchiva, not just laying with her. Obviously, that's not the case because the marriage doesn't even work on a sister. Amar lei. So he answered him lekuchin ksivi b'Torah stam. It says the word lekuchin in the Torah stam without explaining what it means. Haroi lekicha kicha. When you can apply it to a marriage, in other words, when the marriage would work. Like by a regular woman, so we would say that only her relatives only become usher to that man when there's a kicha, when there is a marriage. But haray l'shchiva shchiva. If the Torah used the word kicha, but kicha doesn't work, for example, by a sister, you can't say that there was a marriage because a marriage doesn't take effect on a sister. So then it doesn't mean kicha, it means shchiva. So don't ask from there. Rava says, Anas isha mutter lisa bita mehacha. He says the source that if somebody forces a relationship without a marriage, then it's mutter to go ahead after that and marry her daughter mehacha ksiv. It says in the pasuk ervas bas bincha oy bas bitcha. There's an erva on the son, the daughter of your son, or the daughter of your daughter. That means your grandson, your granddaughter, through your son or through your daughter, doesn't matter. But your granddaughter is usher to you. Leib, you should not reveal her erva. Ha bas bina dida ubas bita dida gali. It's implied in that pasuk that if it's the granddaughter of your wife, then it's mutter, right? Then it's okay. It says in a different pasuk, ervas isha obita loisagali. You can't marry a woman and her daughter. Es bas bina, you can't marry the daughter of her son, ves bas bita, or the daughter of her daughter. So you see clearly in this pasuk, in the second pasuk, that a granddaughter of your wife is also usher to you. Loisika, you should not take, right? Haketzad, how do we explain this? Kan ba'einsin, kan b'nesuin. One is talking about if you were with the relationship with this woman, if it was with a marriage, then you're going to be usher to her granddaughter. If it was just without a marriage, forced, ba'einis, ba'anusa, so then you're mutter to her granddaughter. The Gemara says, Eipachana, why don't I switch it around? Maybe I could say that by einis, when you forced the relationship, then you're usher to her granddaughter, and when you're married to her with the suin, then it's mutter. We have two psukim in the Torah. One implies that you're mutter to the wife's granddaughter, and one says that you're usher to the wife's granddaughter. How do we know where to apply each one? Maybe it's the other way around. The Gemara answers, Aryai, by Aryai, she'er ksiv. It says a lashon of she'er. She'er means like a close kirva. There was a closeness. Nesuin ksiv b'nesuin ika she'er. By nesuin, by a marriage, there's this she'er. So therefore, you could say that there's an Aryai, there's an isser to marry her daughter. But einsin, like a she'er, by einsin, it was just a case of anusa, there's no she'er, so I don't apply that isser. So if one of them are mutter, one of them are usher, I'm going to apply the heter. You're mutter to her granddaughter by einis, when it was just no marriage, and when there was a marriage, then her granddaughter's usher to you. Rabbi Huda Eiser Banusas Aviv. Rabbi Huda said in the Mishnah that a person is usher to marry the Anusas Aviv, the woman who his father had a forced relationship with, no marriage. Amar Rav Gidol, Amar Rav. Rav Gidol says, my time is Rabbi Yehuda. What's the reason for Rabbi Yehuda? What's the source? The Chsev, it says in the pasuk, Lo yikach ish es eshes aviv, v'lo yigale knaf aviv. It says in the pasuk, a person shall not take his father's wife, eshes aviv, v'lo yigale knaf aviv. And you cannot reveal knaf aviv, like the erva of your father. So it seems to be saying the same thing two times. The wife, and anybody who your father was in a relationship with. That's the source of Rabbi Yehuda says, Knaf Shara Aviv Lo Yigale. If their father was ever with this woman in that type of relationship, so the son can't be, even if it was without a marriage. How do we know that Lo Yigale Knaf Aviv is telling us that if it was a case where the father was ma'anis, the father raped, that woman is going to be usher to the son? Because the pasuk right before this says, if somebody rapes a girl, he has to give her father 50 silver coins. Right? That's the knas. Then the next pasuk goes ahead and says that a person is usher to marry his father's wife, and lo yigal knaf aviv. So we were just talking about anusa, forced. So we're probably talking about that here too. So if the pasuk tells us you're not allowed to be with your father's wife, and you're also not allowed to be with knaf aviv, so it's probably talking about what we were just talking about in the pasuk right before, which is anusa.
And the regular relationship would be permitted.
No.
If the father had written not nice.
No, so the pasuk already says that. The pasuk says lo yikach eshes aviv.
Lo yikach.
You can't marry your father's wife. So that was a regular relationship of your father. You can't marry her. And lo yigal knaf aviv, even if it wasn't a regular relationship.
Right. So then that would include everybody, einus or not einus. Like what?
In other words, your question is, the Gemara says, how do we know that's talking about einus?
Right.
So your question is, who else?
It must be dafka einus. Otherwise, it's all inclusive.
Well, the Gemara is saying maybe einus not. So you're saying, but who else would it be?
Yeah, but why maybe not?
So we're going to see in a second.
Apply the same cloud.
Who else would it apply to is your question. So let's see in a second, right here. So the Gemara says, Rabbanan answer, no. If the pasuk, which is talking about anusa, goes right into the case of knaf aviv, so then you're right. But hashta deloy samichle, in this situation, the psukim are lined up in a way. It talks about anusa. You have to pay the father 50 coins. Then it says you're usher to your father's wife, and then it goes back to knaf aviv. So it's not right next to each other. So what is it referring to? Look at the Rav Anan. The Amar Rav Anan says in the name of Shmuel, Amar Shmuel, b'shemeres yavam shel aviv hakasim medaber. The lo yigal knaf aviv is talking about a specific case. Shemeres yavam, a woman who was awaiting yibum from his father. So it's his aunt, right? And his uncle died. This guy's uncle dies, and his aunt is now waiting for yibum from his father, and he goes ahead and has a relationship with her. That's lo yigal knaf aviv. That's what the Torah is saying. That is usher. My knaf aviv. Why is that called knaf aviv? His father was never with her. Haroi lo aviv. Knaf haroi lo aviv. It's talking about the erva, this woman who was roi to the father. What did you say?
Is she an aunt?
That's a very good question. That's the Gemara's question. Lo yigale. So he can't be with that woman, even though his father was never with her yet. Since it's roi la'aviv, that's the isser of lo yigale knaf aviv. In fact, the Gemara, that's your question. The teipuk le mishum doidasai. There's anyways an isser of doidasai. The father's brother's wife is an isser erva of doidasai. And the Gemara, laver aleha b'shnei lavin. It's coming to teach us, that you would be over on 2 isurim. 2 lavim. One is lo yigal knaf aviv, and one is doidasai. In fact, the Gemara, you don't need any of those. V'teipuk le mishum yevama l'shuk. He can't marry her because it's in a yevama awaiting yibum, and she's only allowed to marry one of the brothers, and he's not one of the brothers. Same with the Gemara. The Gemara says laver aleha b'shloisha lavin. It's coming to teach us that there's 3 lavin. Or another option is if let's say the father dies. If his father dies, so this woman is no longer awaiting yibum. There's no other brothers, so there's no isser of yavam l'shuk, but there is still an isser of knaf aviv because it was a royal, and it's also an isser of doidasa of his aunt. Okay. What do you say?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay. So now the Gemara, the way Rashi says it is. The top Rashi says, Meshalais Hain, we're going to give, there's 7 scenarios, which Rashi refers to them as Meshalais, like a parable. They're like puzzles. V'regilin Hain, V'regilin b'nei Adam la'imran. And people were accustomed to saying these, Taisa says that it was used for the tzedukim, Kol elu hamaisim loy mashmiim lach midi elo l'tshuvas tzedukim, just to answer the tzedukim. But, because they used to come up with these bizarre scenarios. So here we go.
The Queen of Sheba asked to Shlomo Melech.
Oh yeah, okay.
Second
Oh,
one.
is it?
Yes, there's that second one.
So the first one goes like this. A woman says as follows: Ach me'av v'loy me'em. I'm talking about a person, a man, who's my brother from my father, but not from my mother. V'hu bailo de'em. He's also the husband of my mother. V'ano barta de'intase. And I am the daughter of his wife. Who am I? No, right? So who's she talking about? So we drew it over here. I don't know if everybody can see this diagram here in the top corner here. The one with the star in it is who she's talking about. This woman is talking about this man. She says, it's my brother from my father, because they have the same father, right? He was born from this wife, she was born from that woman. But what happened here is, that was Einus. He raped her and had this daughter. So there was no marriage there. So she says to him, you're my brother from my father, but not from my mother. I don't have the same mother. And you're also then afterwards, this guy the son went and married the Anusas Aviv, which the Mishnah says is okay. He married her. That's the blue lines there, dotted line. He married her, which is permissible according to the first opinion in the Mishnah, right? Anusas Aviv, after they had this daughter already, after that Maisa happened. So she says about this guy, you're also the husband of my mother. Because now she's the husband of her mother. And I'm the daughter of your wife.
She's talking about her, not right.
No, she's talking to him and she says, I am the daughter of your wife. Okay? So that's the case. And this is permissible according to the first opinion of the Mishnah. However, says the Gemara, Amar Rami Bar Chama, Deloy Rabbi Yehuda de Masnisin.
And the diagram looks like a sign.
Yeah. Square is a son, and this circle's a daughter.
You put the asterisk in there. It looks like the person who's talking is the...
No, the person who's talking is this
woman.
About this person.
Right.
About this person.
Oh, I see.
Right?
We're talking about brother.
Right. So she says, you're my brother, and you're also the son of my mother. So, not son of my mother. I'm sorry. I am the daughter of your wife. Yeah. You're the son of my father. Right. Okay. Rabbi Bar Chama says, like Rabbi Yehuda de Masnisin. It doesn't work according to the Rabbi Yehuda of our Mishnah, because Rabbi Yehuda says, Anusas Aviv, the woman who was forced by your father is usher. Right. So this wouldn't be permissible. Okay, but the next 5 scenarios are also usher. So the Gemara uses an example of a guy. It's done with a guy, because we don't want to put this on a yid, but we'll see. The next puzzle is very simple. Somebody says, a woman says, Achu ubrihu, it's my brother and my son. And another way of saying it, she says, like the like riddle way of saying it is, Achte ano dahai dorino akaspai. This child that I have on my shoulder is my brother. In other words, my son is my brother. So it's a very simple case. Mishkachas la ba'ovid kechavim haba al bitay. So that we drew this up here in this corner. The square is the guy who had a relationship with his daughter, and they had a son. So now this guy over here with the star is a daughter to her and a son. A son. I'm sorry. A son. I'm sorry. A son and a brother. He is a son to her and a brother to her. Very simple. Okay. The next case is a woman says to her son, Shlama lach bri bas achasich ano. Hello there, my son. I am the sister of your brother. I am the daughter. I'm sorry. I am the daughter of your sister.
I'm your sister's daughter.
I'm the daughter of your sister. Yeah, I'm the daughter of your sister. Bas achasich ano. I am the daughter of your sister. She says to her son, Mishkachas lo. We find that. But oivet kechavim, a guy, for example, haba al bas bitoy. If a man has a relationship with his granddaughter, so we have that over here. In this case, this guy has a relationship. He has a daughter. They have a daughter. So he has a relationship with this daughter, with the granddaughter, and they produce a son. So she says to him, "You are my son. You my son. I am the daughter of your sister, because they share the same father. I am the daughter. I'm the daughter of your sister, because they have the same father." Good. That's number 3. Number 4, we say over here, a woman says, Daloi dalu davla, like she says, like to the workers that carried the water, used to draw water, lipo b'chu seiser peser, like I have like a stumping kind of case for you.
Riddle.
What? Yeah, like a riddle. The hai didarina hu bar. It's about this person, this child that I'm holding, like this baby, which is my son. Hu bar, it's my son. Va'ano beras achuha. I am the daughter of his brother, of this child's brother. And this is the exact same case as we just said, just being a granddaughter from a son rather than a granddaughter from a daughter. The grandfather has a relationship with his granddaughter, but it's the daughter of his son. Instead of, in this case, we drew it out as the daughter of a daughter of him, it's the daughter of his son. It's the same case. Mm-hmm. He says, I am the daughter of your brother, instead of I'm the daughter. The mother says, I'm the daughter of your brother, instead of I'm the daughter of your sister. Mm-hmm. And the 5th case is, this one is a little bit more bizarre. It says, biya biya, like it's a language of like woe. Woe is to these, like to this situation where woe is me'ach v'hu of. It's to this guy who's my brother and my father. V'hu Baal, and he's my husband. V'hu Bar Baal, and the son of my husband. V'hu Baila de'em, and it's the husband of my mother. V'anoa Barta de'itze, and I'm the daughter of his wife. V'lo yoev pita lachu, he asked me, b'nei Barte, and he's not giving food to the Yisayimim who are to the brothers that are his grandchildren. So what's this case? You have a guy that had a relationship with his mother, and they had a daughter. And then this guy had a relationship with his daughter that he had from his mother. And then the grandfather had a relationship with the same Ubalo, the same daughter, and they had 2 sons. So here we drew this out over here. This guy in the middle is the guy that we're talking about over here. So we said we said he had a relationship with his mother, and they had a daughter. Okay, then he went and had a relationship with his daughter, with his own daughter, and then the grandfather also had a relationship with his daughter and produced 2 sons. Okay, so she says, woe is to these children who are not getting fed by their grandfather, who is their father. So basically she's talking about this guy. She says, it's my brother, who's my father, who's my husband, who's also the son of my husband, because she had a relationship with this guy too, and not feeding their sons. Okay. The next puzzle is, Ana ve'at achi, I and you are brothers. Ana ve'avuch achi, I and your father are brothers. Ana ve'imach achi, I and your mother are brothers. It doesn't mean brother, it means siblings, like brother and sister. So me and you are brothers, me and your father are brothers, and me and your mother are brothers. So how is that case possible? Mishkachas law, we find this, ba'ovid kechavim haba al imay. Again, you have a guy that has a relationship with his mother. And then they have here 2 daughters. So this guy here had a relationship with his mother. They produced 2 daughters. Okay. And then this guy has a relationship with his daughter, and they produce a son. So he's calling her a sister from the mother because they share the same mother. No, this woman says about this kid that you and I are brothers. Why? Because we have the same father. This guy, right? Same father. You and your me and your father, which is this guy, me and your father are brothers because they have the same mother, right? Because he had a relationship with his mother to produce this woman. And me and your mother, which is this woman, are also brother or sisters in this case because we have the same father and mother.
Sure.
So, okay. And finally, the last case is here. This case is a permissible. The Gemara is going to say it's shaykh to do this even beheter. Anav at bnei achi. Me and you are the children of sisters. It just uses a lashon, male lashon, but bnei achi, brothers, but it really means sisters. Anav avuch bnei achi. I and your father are the children of siblings, brothers. Anav imach bnei achi. I and your mother are the children of brothers. So how's this possible? Okay, again, he says it's this case on the bottom over here. One person says to his relative over here, he says, we share, our mothers are siblings. Me and your father come from siblings, and me and your mother come from siblings. Okay, how's that possible? It's even found permissible. How? Ruvain over here, who his brothers are Shimon and Levi, so Ruvain has 2 daughters, okay? Shimon, his brother, Ruvain's brother, marries his niece, which is permissible, marries one of Ruvain's daughters. Bar Levi, and then the son of Levi, so it's Ruvain's nephew, comes and marries his other daughter. So really they're marrying first cousins, which is fine. Marries the other daughter, sorry. But also Bar Levi, right? Marries one of them. The Ka'amar Le, Berei de Shimon, Lebar Berei de Levi. Now the son of Shimon, which is Yitzchak in this case, the 3rd generation, says to the there's the 2nd generation here, says to Levi's grandson, the next generation, that he says these comments to. He says, me and you, our mothers are siblings. You and your father, me and your father, which is this guy, also our parents are siblings because his father is Shimon and his father is Levi, our parents are siblings. And he says to him also, me and your mother, me and Rachel, also have our fathers are siblings, Reuven and Shimon. Okay, so it's pretty understandable. Very intermarried family. Okay. Zok to Gemara weiter. Okay, we don't need the chart anymore, so we can focus on
what that gene pool would look like.
Yeah.
Must be a rubbish family.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Zok to Mishnah. So we have, just as an introduction, a convert, a ger. We have the rule that ger shenis gayer katan shenay ladami. If a ger converts, a goy converts to Yiddishkeit, to Judaism, so he becomes like reborn. He doesn't have his old family connections. He's not considered to be a son of his father or a brother to his brothers from beforehand, right? So now the question becomes, if let's say two brothers become gerim, and then one of them dies, let's say, with or without kids, doesn't really matter. Now they're Jewish, but they're brothers because of when they were not Jewish. Now they're both Jewish, and now one of the brothers dies, and the other one wants to marry his brother's wife, his brother's widow. Is that permissible or not? For Yidden in the Torah, it's not. It's called Eishes Ach, and it's only permissible in a case of Yibum, but otherwise it's an erva. You're not allowed to marry your brother's wife, even after he dies if he has children. But over here, they're not brothers, so is he allowed to or not? So in certain scenarios, the Chachamim put in place, even though it's mutter, we don't consider them to be brothers if they were brothers from when they were goyim. The Chachamim put in place certain gzeiras because they might look like Yidden doing it, and people will think that it's permissible for Yidden to do that. And like in this case, one will think that if his brother dies with children, leaving over children in the world, he's allowed to marry his brother's wife. People might think that. So let's see this Mishnah.
And certainly Yibum does not apply either.
That's right. The Mishnah is going to say that too. Hagiyarish and Isgairu boneha ima. If a woman was Megayer, she converted together with her sons. So let's say she has two sons that came along with her to be Megayer. Loi chaltzin v'loi miyabmin. So if Yibum comes up, there's no chalitza and there's no Yibum. We're going to see in the Gemara if that means that it's usher to do Yibum or it's just exempt from Yibum. Afilu hayrasei shel rishain sheloi b'kedusha v'loi dasei b'kedusha. Even if the first son that's becoming a ger was conceived before the conversion happened, and then he was born after the conversion happened, so it's called hayrasai. He was conceived shaloi b'kedusha as a guy. She was a guy, and then leidasai, the birth was b'kedusha when they were yidden already. So and the second brother, who in question here is hasheni hayrasai v'leidasai b'kedusha, both conceived and born when she was already a yid, when she was already Jew. So even in that case, still there's no chalitza or yibum.
Both born to a Jewish mother, but the conception was before.
One of them had the conception before she was a giyaris. Okay? The same halacha would apply to a shifcha, a maidservant that becomes freed. A shifcha that becomes freed from a Jewish master, she becomes a giyaris automatically, or an eved becomes a ger. So the same halacha would apply. So let's see. Says the Gemara, B'nei Yudan Amsa, the sons of Yudan, that was a woman's name, Amsa, which she was a shifcha, she was a maidservant, Ishtachur were freed, these two sons were freed, Shara Lohu, Rav Acha bar Yaakov, Leminsav Neshei Dahadadi. And Rav Acha bar Yaakov permitted them to marry each other's wives. Okay? In other words, there was no problem of Eishesach, because they're not considered to be brothers. Amar le Rava, Rava says, "V'har Rav Sheshes aser." How could you allow this? Rav Sheshes says it's aser. It's aser. Amar le hu aser v'anasharina. He says it's aser, and I say it's mutter. It's machlokes. I'm allowed to argue with him. So the Gemara is going to discuss the machlokes. Mina'av v'loy mina'aim. If they're brothers from the father but not from the mother, these two freed slaves. So now basically there are two converts. They're two gerim. These two men. And they were born when they were not Yidden. Now they converted. So if they're brothers from the same father but not from the same mother, Kuli Amalei Pligi Deshari. Both Rav Sheshes and Rabbi Acha bar Yaakov, everybody would agree that they're mutter to marry each other's wives if they're no longer married to them. Okay? We're talking about, obviously, in a case where now they're both Jewish and they have proper marriages. They married Jewish women or whoever, Garish, but they...
Not considered brothers anymore.
They're just not considered brothers. Right, they're just not considered brothers. So, in a case where they were brothers from the father, everybody agrees that there's no problem to marry each other's wives. Min ha'eim v'loy min ha'av, if they're brothers from the mother and not the father, kuli amaloi pligi de aser. Everybody agrees that it's aser. They're not allowed to marry each other's wives. Because there it looks more like two Yidden. Everybody knows that they're brothers from the mothers, and so it looks like they're Jewish, so people would make a mistake and think that a Jewish man is also allowed to marry Eishes Ach, his brother's wife.
And it didn't matter when they were born, before or after she converted.
Well, yeah, as long as they were conceived beforehand. One was conceived. Yeah, if they were both born after, then no. We'll see. Okay. Ki pligi, where's the machlekes between Rav Sheshes and Rabbi Bar Yaakov min ha'av u'min ha'em? When they're both, when they have the same father and the same mother. Man, the shari, the one who permits it, because Basar Abba Shadinan. He says that the children are called the B'nei Planya Kariluhu. They're called by their father. Everybody knows them as by their last name. They go by the father's name, so nobody realizes that they have the same mother. So therefore, they're not going to confuse it with Jewish brothers. But Rav Sheshes, according to Rav Sheshes, Kariluhu Nami B'nei Ploinus. People also reference them by their mothers. So therefore, we don't allow it. That's the machlekes. Bika de Amar. Some say that the machlekes is Rabbi Bar Yaakov afilu ba'achim and ha'em. Rabbi Bar Yaakov even permits brothers to marry each other's wives, even in a case where they're brothers from the mother only. Before, in the first version of this Gemara, we said that if they're brothers from the mother and not the father, everybody agrees that it's usher. But some say that even in that case, Rabbi Bar Yaakov would permit it. What's the reason? Umay taima? Because Gershon is Gayer, Katan Shanayla Dami. Everybody knows that rule of Gershon is Gayer, Katan Shanayla Dami. That when a ger becomes a ger, it's like being reborn, and they have no family relationship to the previous family. So they're not brothers, and everybody knows that. They'll realize that that's the reason why it's permissible in this case, and nobody's going to confuse it with regular Jewish brothers. Okay. So now the Gemara, so we have this machlekes between Rav Sheshes that says it's usher for brothers after they convert to marry each other's wives, and Rabbi Bar Yaakov says it's mutter. So the Gemara is going to try to prove one way or another. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, in our Mishnah, Hagiyirish in this guy Rubaneh Ha'ima, a Giyiris, a Goya, that she converts together with her sons, Loi Chaltin V'loi Miyabmin. Right? We said there's no chalitza and no yibum. My time, what's the reason? La Mishum Da'asiri. Is it not because they're usher? So that would be a proof to Rav Sheshes that brothers are usher in each other's wives, right? So and the isser is not lifted if one of them dies childless. So the Gemara says, "Loi, the eina b'teiras chalitza v'yibum v'sharya la'alma." The reason why they're not allowed to marry one another, the reason why we're saying there's no chalitza and no yibum, is because like we thought originally, because there's no brother. In order to have yibum, they have to be brothers from the same father, and here they're not brothers because they were magayer. So there's no mitzvah of yibum, so she's mutter to marry whoever she wants. V'inhu sharu, v'inhu nami sharu. They're even allowed to marry her. In other words, the yibum is lifted here. There's no yibum. If one brother dies childless, there's no yibum. The other brother who's not really a brother could marry her, or she can marry anybody she wants. There's no yibum. So the Gemara asks, "V'hakatani afilu," but we use the word afilu in the Mishnah. The word we said, even if there was a scenario where one brother was conceived while she was still a guy, and born while she was a yid, and the other brother was conceived and born while she was a yid, we said, even in that case, we used the word even in the Mishnah, we said, afilu, in that case, there's still no chalitza and no yibam. So what do we mean to say? If you're telling me that the Mishnah is coming to teach us that there's an isser to do yibam, one brother is usser on the other brother's wife, then it makes sense the word afilu. That means the afal gav, the rishain hayrasa shalei b'kedusha, v'leidasa b'kedusha, even though the first brother was conceived while still a guy, and he was born when she was a yid, v'hasheni, and the second brother hayrasa v'leidasa b'kedusha, he was conceived and born when she was a yid. So it seemed, since the rule of Gershon is Gai Katan Shanayla Dami applies to the mother also, so it's like a different woman. It's like a different woman. Since one was conceived when she was still a guy, it's like they have two different mothers, right? And still, afilu hachi asiri. That's how we would explain. That's why we're happy with the word afilu if it's coming to apply an isser from one to the other's wife. Okay, so again, if the Mishnah is coming to teach us that it's usher for them to do yibum to each other, for one brother to marry the other one's wife, so then it makes sense the word afilu, because even in a scenario where they were born at different times, one was conceived before she became a geyeris, so it looks like they have two different mothers, because before she was a goy, now she's a yid. Still, even with if it looks like two different mothers, still it's usher one on another. Then it makes sense the word afilu still. But sharu, if it's talking about the Mishnah is permitting one to marry another, there's no yibum or chalitza, meaning that she's free to go to marry whoever she wants, whether an outsider or this brother who's not really a brother. Then what's the word afilu? My afilu. What changes by the fact one brother was conceived when she was a goy, and one brother was conceived afterwards. The only factor that you have for yibum is that they have the same father. The fact that the mother is a different woman doesn't really change anything. So what's the afilu? So Gemara says no. The avagab the travayu leidasam b'kedusha, since they were both born to a Jewish mother. One was conceived before she was Jewish, but they were both born while she was Jewish. So asi lechlufi b'Yisrael. It looks like two Jewish brothers. It looks to the world like that. And afilu hachi sharu. So that's what the word afilu is coming. You could even say the Mishnah is talking about there's no yibum machalitza because it's a heter. It's mutter to marry whoever she wants, even them, even the brothers. But the word afilu means even though it looks like two Jewish brothers, still it's mutter. Others say this is the other way around. The Mishnah is mistaver. It's explained well. It's understandable if it's talking about heter. That there's no yibum mechalitza and she's mutter. The katani afilu, because we use the word afilu. If you say it's talking about that it's permitting him to marry the sister-in-law, hainu the katani afilu. That's why we said afilu. Even in a case where it looks like they're both the afagav the travayu leidasam mikdusha, even though they were both born to this woman while she was Jewish. Although one of them had the conception while she wasn't Jewish, but since they were both born while she was Jewish, and you might mix it up because it looks like two Jewish brothers. Afilu hachi sharu. So we like the word afilu, that it's mutter. If you say it's talking about where that the Mishnah is saying that there's no yibum because it's usher to marry one another, my afilu. What's the word of afilu? So the Gemara answers like what we thought originally was more simple, but now the Gemara in this version the Gemara answers the afagav the rishon hayrasa shalei b'kedusha v'leidasei b'kedusha. Even though the first brother was conceived while Shaloi b'kedusha, and he was born b'kedusha, v'hasheni hayrasa v'leidasei b'kedusha, but the second one was conceived and born b'kedusha when she was Jewish, the kashtei imais dummy, and it looks like it's two different women. Afilu hachi asiri, still it's usher, even though it looks like two different women, and you wouldn't confuse the two. Still, it's usher. Did I go over time? I can continue. I mean, we're 4 lines from the bottom.
Basically, when someone's Makai